Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Ooh. Okay, it's pre Friday party. Also, a week from today is our sister Danielle's birthday. Happy birthday to her. Woo woo. Happy birthday to Danielle. I wished like I would take all of her kids and then like scream, okay? Scream singing happy birthday to their mama. That would be so cool, actually. If you really think about it. Anyhow, so part of my birthday bash is to give you guys a chance to um, work with Level Up Academy and also looking for only 10, not more than that, soul hearted individuals who want to elevate their brand and want to elevate their social media presence. In what I do in this magazine, it's actually physical and online. The physical, if you're in the US, I can mail it to you. If you're international, I still could mail it to you, but the shipping might be quite a bit. And also, what I will do is it comes with an interview for a Wednesday interview to come in and basically talk about who you are and why you are doing what you are doing with our community, right? It's only on sale until tomorrow, and then it goes back up to the same price, usually. All right. So hopefully you guys will take advantage, and I will see you for the interview. And I also will send you a link to my write up for your interview as well. This book, and my sister has a surprise for you tomorrow. Okay, this book is coming out in physical form mañana, tomorrow. Moving Beyond Boxes, The Journey to Self-Discovery is finally out in physical form. It's still on ebook as well for those of you who travel and like to have your Nook with you or your iPhone, because you could also use iPhone for it. And of course, on the web. So, this 13 amazing souls literally move beyond their boxes and share their journey to self discovery. Keep in mind that just because we made a book doesn't mean we stop continuing to discover ourselves. It's a lifetime, people, lifetime, I tell you, okay? Doesn't go anywhere. So that is what is happening. We are meeting here in Escondido, California next Saturday. Yes, 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 physically, because our book, our anthology, is at Barnes and Nobles, and we will be doing book signing. If anything, we just gallivant and go cray cray. Maybe on the beach, maybe on the mall. Who knows? But I have enough room in my Sprinter to literally take them. That is for sure. And these are the 27 co authors, right, for Beyond Boundaries Thriving in Life's Gray Zone. And you guys know that moving beyond boxes, beyond boundaries, do you see the commonality here? We're going beyond what we're told by our society because we know we can, right? And this TV is going to be on E360 TV network. So if you have Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Play, LG, Samsung. It's actually all available there now. Also, guys, I'm so excited. I just got into the Amazon Influencer Program officially yesterday. So I will have a storefront with Amazon. And so what I'm doing is curating books, specific books that I can add to my list that I will share on Instagram. So you'll see me a lot doing videos on Instagram and sending you links on what I use on a daily basis. I had a couple of emails and DMs on, hey, what podcasting equipment do you use? So I made a curated list. It is on Level Up Academy LinkedIn. Followership. If you follow me, you will find all of the stuff that I'm doing on there. Tomorrow, my dear sister Susanna is going to be introduced with her book Chapters of Beyond Boundaries to all of the 100 plus countries, right? That we have 6 continents globally on iHeart, Spotify, Apple. She will be there tomorrow. The time? Oh, I'll just surprise you. When I post it, you will see it. Okay. And of course, my sponsor for this show is Susanna Dond, right? And of course, this guy right here, Mike Asha Brunna. He is the founder of HOB, Hounds of Business Community. And again, we are a community of communities, right? We are soul hearted individuals. And CJ, what is soul hearted versus heart centered? Heart centered individuals are caring, giving, and compassionate, right? No doubt. But soul hearted people, right? Business owners, individuals who are soul hearted, you could see their passion exudes out of their body through literally their efforts on making sure that their community is leveled up. Take it up a notch, basically. Those are called soul-hearted individuals, okay? So let's go ahead and start. There's a lot going on. Happy Thursday, everybody. I know, I'm pinkified today. Pinkified. Look, see, my lights is pink too. Also, Level Up with Doc is going to be going on a little bit of revamp. I'm going to add more in there. I'm also thinking of directories. We have this thing called Book Club. And in the book, if you don't want to write a book, it's okay. But I will be showing my members on podcasting, using that for branding, brand awareness, how to do it correctly, how to streamline, how to be everywhere. It will be on this book club. All right. I call it book club because I'm creating legacies through a book. We also have Susanna and I are offering an anthology in the box. It's basically like, think of, when you are doing real estate and you're buying real estate, it's like you just have the key and you're turning the key and you're open. That's what we do with Level Up. We have anthology in the box. So if you're thinking of you and your friends wanting to create legacies in books and you don't know where to go, how to market it, who to tap in, we got you. We've been doing this quite a while on anthologies now. So we can support you in possibly put you also as a team lead. If you don't have a followership, don't worry, we got you. In terms of pay, you just DM us and then we'll talk about it. But our minimum, keep this in mind, this is one of the biggest requirement. Our minimum to do an anthology in the box is 25 people. And then from there, we go from there. All right. So are you guys ready? I know. I'm bringing my sisters from another mister. Danielle will be here a little bit. She'll join us later on when she takes a break. So she's a hustler, baby. All right. She got to work. Money, money, money. All right, I'm bringing in Sister Sosana.
Morning.
Morning. How are you?
Excited for tomorrow?
Yes, the
Somebody
book
is?
comes out. Can you show me the book, please?
You want to see the book? There it is.
Oh, beautiful. Let me
There's
see the spine.
the back.
Hey, I did pretty good on the back there.
Uh-huh.
And then the ISBN.
Great.
Let me see the ISBN. Ooh, yes, sir.
Oh
So
man,
we
I'm all for this one.
yes, love it. Move beyond boxes and shine. See, that's the thing with Anthology in a Box. We also do book covers for you. So you don't have to. Most anthologies, you need somebody to do the meme, you need somebody to do the book cover. You don't even know if it's going to work or not. And trust me when I say this, literally between us, we're either 20th or already close to. We will be over 20 books this year for sure. Here's the thing. We as experienced as we are on anthologies and books, I create book covers for a lot of my other friends other than Level Up Academy. And some of those anthologies you see, we've created those book covers for you. So we do the design and then also we literally do the measurement for you, right? So you don't have to worry. But as experienced as we are, we still do like what? 5 to 10 changes on those book covers.
Oh yeah. Well, it's because there's so many variables to deal with, and that's just it. If you're not used to it, it's going to drive you crazy. It can drive us crazy even when we are used to it.
Right? You just have to be patient. But the good news is because we've done it so many times, we got you. What happens is if you get a book and you get a book cover, somebody that helps you with the book cover, you're going to go back and forth with them. So be careful on asking people to do your book cover to do the memes because those are different measurements and you don't want the grainy portion of those book covers, right? And you need to be clear and really vibrant and good because that's really your selling point. If your book is not attractive, no one's going to pick it up. I don't care how good your story is. It's the same thing as your business. If you don't have brand awareness and no one knows you, it doesn't matter what your business is.
Just put them side by side. I mean, there's our two books right there.
That's right.
And look at how much is in that. Just the design, the color, the picture, the meaning.
Yeah, you don't want to go in the meaning. we go through this together and you're like, okay, well, this is what I'm thinking about doing this. And I designed both book covers. And I'm still toying. I'm asking Bella and my husband on the next book cover, Rebel with a Cause. And apparently there's a Rebel Without a Cause movie, 1955. I'm going to have to watch that. I didn't know that. And my husband's like, yeah.
I
So
believe it's James Dean.
I know he's so handsome. I told my husband, I'm like, man, James Dean, he's handsome. And he's like, yeah, some people think I'm James Dean. I'm like, wow, some people, huh? Just not your wife. Oh, wow. Okay. And he's like, you are not a good wife right now. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're handsome, but I'm just, I would marry you if you weren't. But I'm just saying, it's been 21 years, guys, but it's just so funny. But yeah, Anthology in a Box is something we can do for you. And keep that in mind. And we don't have we do two ways, right? We have upfront costs if you wanted to pay it upfront.
Yep.
And then we also have, because we're for the people, by the people, we always will. And you're probably thinking, oh, it doesn't cost that much. It must be bad quality. Really? No. We're just doing it differently. We're shifting your mindset again on what is value, right? Because you think expensive means value. Not necessarily. Like literally, I have thousands worth of dollars, right? And I look up my $28 one that I got at TikTok. Oh, I'm loving my $28 bag right now. It's because it's the value that you put into something, right? Value is everything. And it's talking of value, sister. Today's topic is the impact of mental health in your daily life, right? So we're going to bring in Sister New to join us.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk, sisters. Hi, sister. How are you?
Happy Thursday, sisters, and everyone watching us. And it's What a wonderful to be here. It's really thankful Thursday, you know, to be here with Susanna, TJ, and later on Danielle, right? And so many other amazing brothers and sisters watching us live and the replay. But it just, I'm grateful and thankful and blessed. As always, love you
I love
both.
you. We don't have the fancy smancy
Oh,
heart that
yeah.
Danielle has. I'm not loving this thing. Ah. Ooh, breathe. It's so funny, but seriously, I'm thankful and blessed that you guys are here and part of our level up circle. We're going to level up soon. I'm overwhelmed right now with gratefulness literally on my DMs. A lot of people want to partner up on a lot of things, but just know that just because I'm not partnering up right away doesn't mean I'm not considering. It just means that I always truly believe in a strong foundation. I don't just nilly willy, okay, sure, we collaborate. Like, I don't do superficial stuff like that. I also have to feel your energy if you're continuously showing up the way you're supposed to be, and that if you talk about mindfulness and talk about intentions and talk about being heart centered, that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing by action, not by mouth. So that's all I'm doing is following what you're doing and see if it exudes that. Some people that ask me to elevate and partner up, if I said no to you, that just means next opportunity. I might not be your opportunity. That's all. Please don't take it personally. There's something in your social media that I'm not aligned with. I work too hard for my brand, and I just don't want it to be part of something I don't care for. That's all. Right? So nothing personal against on anyone. But mental health is super important. And I know this month is June. Yesterday was Juneteenth. Pride Month is also this month, and also Mental Health Month for men. So let's talk about mental health in general. Sister Susanna, when someone tells you I am a mental wellness advocate, what's the first thing that comes up to your mind?
What is that? Because it's such a wide variety of topics. So when it comes to that, are they focusing on mental health issues? Are they focusing on I like to talk belonging in the workplace? Are they talking about specific issues? So it's a very broad topic, and it just when you ask the question, that's just the first thing that popped in my mind is as much as I hate boxes, at the same time, when I talk about boxes, it's like there's so much within the neurodiverse box that you can't really say they're all the same. So the same goes with this.
True, true. Paulette, welcome to our membership here at Level Up Academy. I will be putting courses in there to help you with your podcasting and branding awareness soon. We're just creating content. I'm just excited. I got to streamline my process on content because, yeah, Amazon is on my bag now. So I'm like super happy with that. Thank you, Paulette. I appreciate you. Dr. New, when someone tells you, hey, I'm a wellness mental health advocate, what comes up for you?
Wellness mental health advocate. I think that they are not only looking at the wellness in the typical wellness of a physical body of wellness, but wellness in the mental is that sometimes people don't see it, right? Things that are beyond our eyes, like people who look well, look well groomed, really, have it all put together, well made. But that doesn't mean they don't have mental health issue. And so maybe in that aspect is that person is advocating for not only to be a voice to elevate those who are struggling, that silent struggle, or if it's a problem, whether it's you know, depression, anxiety, the things that are post-traumatic injury. I mean, there's so much that mental wellness and well-being. It's a lot to unpack. Like what Susanna was saying, it's a lot, right? Mental health. It's so much when we're talking about not putting people labels, but then have to really get to know what is it that person is doing. If it's maybe relating to their story, like their experience, personal experience that they can relate to their mental health and can advocate for others. It's something that come up for me maybe. And if someone were to approach and say that they're a wellness mental health advocate, because our well-being, I think, is not just a physical, our it has to be the mind, body, and soul. And I think the soul aspect is where it tied perfectly with our soul hearted. You know, what people look for is not just beyond the superficial, that label or the mask, right? People
Mhm.
wear because they put on masks of whatever industry, whatever leaders you are, you're expected to be a certain role. But deep down, you know yourself if you are serving and you're really um, having that purpose and that meaningful, that soul that it fills you up. And I think that soul hearted, money cannot
No,
buy, right? And
no,
that
it
is where I
comes
think
from
mental
within.
health is so important.
Yeah. So
It's
when I
within us.
see somebody saying, "Hey, I'm mental wellness advocate," I usually for me is from experience, I see, okay, lots of trauma happening, and they actually found a way to help others with their trauma. That's the first thing I see. Then what I do is I look and follow them for a little bit. I watch their videos, I watch what they say, I listen to them in audio rooms. You see me pop up randomly at 11 o'clock p.m. or 6 in the morning, right? Because I'm following certain people who says that. And usually when people said that, I think they have trauma in their life and they're trying to get that. And the reason because I said that's because of me, right? I went through a lot of trauma, but I also unpacking slowly because it's no longer an excuse for someone, oh, I have a lot of trauma, so I'm having a bad attitude towards people. Oh, I have this, therefore I can do this. I'm so sick of the excuses that people put on instead of being accountable for their own actions. I'm really sick and tired of it, to be honest. And friends are not friends. I think I just don't have the energy or the time to do superficial or fake stuff. So when people say that, I just follow them. And if I like what they're saying and they're aligned to what they're doing, I will stay. I'm like, oh, this is good because at this age of my life, I want to add value. There's so much noise out there. Everybody's a coach. It is driving me insane. No disrespect to coaches, but when I think of coaches, I think of sports. Okay. If you are not a sports coach, you're a mentor. That's just my head. I can't help it, guys. Okay. It's just what it is. That's my definition. You don't have to prescribe to it, you don't have to subscribe to it. But when I think of coach, I think of sports. Yeah. And when people says, "Oh, I'm a coach for this," the first thing my body literally has a reaction. My stomach knots, and I'm like, "Ugh, I hate coaches." And so, what I'm going with that is how powerful words are, because it could be a trigger to somebody, right? And emotions based on words is so strong that sometimes even if we like somebody and they use certain words that just irritates the hell of a GBs out of you, it triggers you. For me at least, right? So this question, how does your mental health affect your ability to focus and complete tasks at work or school, really? Knowing that Sister Susanna and I, for sure, for sure, right, have ADHD. What do you do to focus, sister?
Uh, well, okay. Starting off with this is the fact that Now I know the label of that particular box. This is a case where I need to know the label to be able to move past it. I've dealt with it. I've dealt with the squirrels for so long and figured I just had to deal with it until a certain sister says, "You have ADHD." Yeah, look at that smile. And then I get the assessment, and I mean, I'm also thankful you were there for that. So I had to write everything. Now that it's there, now that it's real, because I mean, we could joke about it. Now that it's real, I have more awareness of it, and I can say, okay, I need to turn the TV off completely. I can't go onto YouTube and start surfing because that was my problem in the first place. The squirrels say, "Oh, watch a video for it's only 2 minutes, it's only 5 minutes, it's only 10 minutes." And 3 hours later, you sit back and go, "Where did the time go?" And there's no concentration then. You're all over the board. Being able to understand what it is, then start using that awareness to say, "Okay, I know the TV is my problem. Let me let me keep it off. I know that this is the problem. Let me keep it off. I need to focus, so I can't do music right now. I can do it later." And just learning what what it is I need in my atmosphere as well to be the most productive that I can be.
Yeah. So your intentions, okay, people, there's a neuroscientist that I follow from Mayo Clinic. 30 years of research. She literally cut brains up for a living, guys. And she looks at energy, she looks at cognitive, she looked at everything, right? For almost 30 years or more. And it was for neuromarketing class that I went to her to get the class. And literally what she's saying is that when you need to focus, you literally only need to focus on one thing, right? For ADHD people, it's really hard, okay? But here's what's happened. And I can understand and appreciate what she's saying when I just go to science itself and really try to connect, right? And so basically, if you are aware of your own weakness and you're really trying to that journey of self discovery to the point where how can I leverage my strength so that I can have the opportunity to get my weakness into a strength and minimize my threats. I just did SWOT analysis. Sorry about that. That's just how I do it. And so my thought process every day when I do things is SWOT analysis in my head. So when you really think about it, when you recognize that you have ADHD, whatever you have, bipolar, ADHD, PTSD, we have a lot of labels for a lot of things. Don't look at it as, oh, it's a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, even though it comes with a whole bunch of bad things. Just look at medicine. You can treat this and then boom, 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 you could die. It's the same thing, right? Focus and hyper focus your energy on what are some of the weaknesses on this thing and how can you strengthen that so that it could be a superpower for you. Now, Dr. New, specific question. In what ways do you notice changes in your physical health when you experience mental health challenges?
Wow. Well, personally, for those probably can relate. So, some of the things like not able to sleep well, right? Even if you're putting in, let's say, your normal good hours of sleep, whether it's 5, 6, 7, 8, it depends on each individual. But when you have that mental health, you know that you struggle, even if you go lay down, if you're not having a restful sleep. You turn and toss the next day, not only your body, if you take blood pressure and heart rate, just as simple as that physical health numbers that will tell you, it's gonna sky off. It's gonna woof. But if you have the tools in me to get you back, then you can realign. And I think that not only that science alone is that it's just the things that I see is that when we are able to focus in things that we're not in control of, right? We all like to take control, right? That obsessive of I got to be in control, and if we can't be in control, then it go chaotic, right? And that's what a lot of people, and I think speaking from personally from my past, is that we not only put in ourselves and others, whether it's the words or actions or whatever people say about us, or that word that you mentioned, that activation, that label that trigger you. Now you go into this rabbit hole and saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it well. I'm not gonna do well. I'm not gonna be successful. I'm not gonna." So then it's gonna not only inhibit you, limit you to not only take action to take care of your physical health, because then you're not even caring about your well-being. You literally in that stage of, do I even deserve worthy? When we talk about mental health, is that every part of your body is shut down. That physical body is like, you can tell you tire, your like muscle and all the your body is not going to be as well, there's a term, but it's just the lively of you, the energy you present, even if you're walking with that state versus a state of mind of you don't have a mental health as in that limits you. You embrace the present, even during the chaos, even during the storm, you can be more calm. And that is where the physical health changes dramatically. It start with here. So if we're not able to control our well-being and our mental health, our physical is going to drag. So that's the science. When you talk about that blood pressure, heart rate, and of course you're going to have headaches. You're going to have migraine. You're going to have things that are that physical coming up, and the the retentions of our stress level, the cortisol level is going up because internally we're having a lot of panic, that anxiety coming on of figuring out a lot of things that are out of control, right? That you want
Yeah,
to be control. And I can see that from just kind of going back, putting myself in there. And that is where that physical health is so important, but you got to align it with how are you feeling, right? How are you doing the mental well-being? Because when your well-being of mental is not there, your physical gonna fall apart.
that's true. I do want to, side note.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
really
oh,
loving this thing.
oh, yeah.
I think this is almost gone because I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, I love it. The reason being is that it's been 2 weeks now. I think. Um, it's so good, guys. It's like candy. Um,
And my kids eat them too.
I
So
know. So it's
they're
Bella,
good.
and she's like, she opened it. She's like, Mom, it tastes good, but why does it smell like broccoli? I'm like, just eat it. Close your nose. Eat it. That's what I tell her. Um, I'm like, don't make me close your nose myself, and then you can eat it. Because I used to do that when she was 5. She's taller. Bella's taller than me. If you see her, she's taller than me a little bit. She's bigger and taller than me. I'm like, I will go on top of this desk and jump on you and close your nose if you don't eat it. It's so hilarious. Um, what you eat makes a big difference also, guys. I wanted to just put that in there, okay? So for me, I have bloating anyway. I know this is too much information personally, but I'm just going to tell you. I have bloating. My tummy's upset. When I get this, like when I get stressed out, my migraine is hormonal. But if I have that issue, plus my hormones is going crazy, okay, menopause, it's for real. Men, you have andropause too. Okay, you think you're not like, oh, I don't go crazy with midlife. You have andropause. Look it up. We have menopause. You got andropause. The thing with my gut is really bad because your gut actually is your second brain. So not only you're insomniac, you can't sleep, and I know we all are insomniac here. I'm literally talking to Dr. No at 3 a.m. her time. I'm like, sis, what the hell are you doing up? And then we talked about business, like it's 8 a.m. It's not. And then Susanna, I also talked to her until midnight with Danielle, right? We just talk. And we're like, man, we got issues. We got to go to bed. And we're like, okay, 5 more minutes. And 5 more minutes later is an hour. Yeah, we got issues with time too. And it's not good for you, right? It's not good for you. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that control is something that I've realized that if you think about life, do you really have control? You don't. Do you really control your time that when you're going to expire? You don't. Do you control people that they cut you off on the freeway and you want to murder them with your car? You don't, right? Do you control your kids? Maybe when they're 5. Barely, right? You can't. Do you have any control when you get angry? Yeah, you can control that. That's a choice you can control. When it comes to yourself, there are things you can and cannot control. The rest of everything, honestly, guys, I think you only have 10% control of yourself. 10%. The rest is like out there. It's going to happen when it happens. And people, when things doesn't go your way, remember I talked yesterday, no means next opportunity, right? And rejection is redirection. It's true. Because just because you don't see it, like we like to plan. I like to plan. I'm very structured. I start panicking when I don't plan. Even in driving, my husband got mad because I told him to go left, right, and he went left, left. And I told him, okay, you're doing bad because you didn't, because I try to control that action and I can't, right? Because it's his thing. You have no control over all of those things external. What you have control is only yourself, right? And speaking of control, Sister Danielle is coming, right? Sorry, guys. I'm still eating, so I'm going to bring her up. How are you, sister?
I'm good. I'm good. How's everybody?
Good. This is your question.
Oh, thank you for the visual. Ah. Oh. Ooh. Well. I think during that time it can be very tumultuous. At my kids' school, they talk about the red zone, the green zone, the blue zone, the yellow. Blue being sad, red being angry. So during these times, I really have to take a step back and really ruminate and be in stillness. I like to handle these type of situations by myself. But like any big Filipino family, they're just not going to leave you alone. Like, I love my parents. So I try my best to kind of stay calm in that green zone. And if I'm feeling like, I'm going into the red, which is angry, or really, really blue, which is really, really sad, then I just say, I'm not ready to talk. But okay, friends, that doesn't mean that I've not, gotten upset, and maybe not handled myself in the best way, especially after my husband had a stroke. I just was all over the place, like how people, that are dealing with someone who go through medical something, that it is really difficult to navigate your feelings. So it's hard.
It is difficult. And that's why I wanted to talk about, because I know you're going through a lot, and people sometimes, you commit to something, and I understand sometimes commitment change.
Yeah.
And you might not be able to fulfill that commitment, but it has nothing to do with the person.
No.
It's just life happens. I almost want to say happens. Just like YouTube, don't cancel. Okay, I almost said that. I curse a lot, guys, in real life. Literally, I'm a sailor's mouth. I tried my hardest to behave, okay, for you, YouTube. Oh my God, I know people are like, I'm like, no, I have sponsorship. I can't do those things. Arrgh. That's why I said I can't control anybody else, but I can control myself. You have control more than you know, okay? You do.
Yeah.
Right? If you get all rowdy and angry and you put a cop next to you, you're like, hey, officer, how you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Because you change that tune right away, because that shows you have control. When people's like, I don't have control over things because I'm this, I call BS on that one. Right? Because that literally you have control. You what you don't have control is how your words matter when it comes out, and the people who are listening, what comes out for them when you're saying it.
Mm.
You don't have control over what they think you said. It came out, right? Your intention might be good, but it came out wrong on their end. And that's called miscommunication, right? It happens all the time. Sister Susanna, question: what coping mechanisms or strategies do you find most effective in managing your daily stress and anxiety?
Prayer.
Mm.
I'm just going to start right there. Because I have found, actually, even though in many ways my anxiety, I feel like it should be higher than it is right now, it's my faith that's actually, it's since I put more into faith that it has been less.
Hmm.
I'm not noticing as much as I did in the past. And I take that as something is just being taken care of. I don't have to dread things the way that you end up doing with anxiety. The daily stress, that's a little different, because it's part of it is just taking that ADHD and being able to work with it, and know that, okay, I give myself an hour to do something, and the squirrels have used up the first half hour. Yet at the same time, I'm like, okay, just accept it, because I completed these 2 or 3 things that, whether I did it now or later, had to be done. It's okay to get them done now. You've got the time built in. It's going to be okay. So with the stress and everything, there's got to be some acceptance. And that's why, as much as I don't like labels, this is the one thing that having it allows me to get through it easier, to move beyond that particular label, because I know what it is. I have the awareness of how to move beyond it. I've got sisters that I can bounce things off of, because they know what it's like, what they know what I'm going through, and it just makes it easier to go to calm down then and move forward.
Thank you. And I love this conversation because we're trying to show you guys behind closed doors what we really talk about, all really four of us, and behind closed doors on our daily issues that we're having, right? What you see on social media is like, wow, she's everywhere. What you don't see is like, mother, that's literally what the reality in my life looks like. First of all, thank you to almost 1,300 live YouTube people. I love you guys. Danielle, sister, there you go. Give them some hearts, sister.
She's trying. There they are. There they are.
That's right. I'm gonna need that. Oh man, I might have to switch to an iPad soon.
Go to the peace sign next.
Right? Like, ooh. Wait, is it raining parades now? There it is. Yay. Give me
raining
balloons
for
for your
two.
birthday.
It's balloons for one.
Okay.
Yes. Give me balloons for birthday. Is it coming out?
Come on.
There
You have
it
to move
is.
it. See?
You have to move it. Peace. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's almost 1,300 there. Oop. Maybe we'll hit 1,300. Hold
That's
on one second.
cool.
Let me just celebrate it.
You have to sing,
Let me
CJ.
celebrate it. The reason I do that is because it doesn't matter if you're talking really good stuff too, but if it's crickets, it's kind of disheartening, right? So one thing I'm going to give you a tip is don't give up. Keep going. And make sure that you are supported by the right people. There are lots of support out there, but they're not all right people. I'm just saying, right? So before we end this discussion, what I want you guys to do is like just a minute on tips of how the impact of mental health in your daily life affects your business and your personal life. We'd start with Dr. New.
So how does mental health affect our personal and business life? Is that the question, CJ?
Yeah. Yeah, give me a tip on how do you what is the impact and how do you like uncover it to help others?
So I think mental, health. One is, let's say, the self sabotage, right? The self limiting of our own thoughts of ourselves that others have imposed. That now you're moving outside of that box. How to not only maintain that harmony, right? When we talk about there's not really a balance. When people think of balance, they want an equal, right? But in harmony life, it's perspective of one is that for me, not only having the circle, like our level up circle with the sisters here, to also see things that maybe you don't see yourself, but also having someone to also lift you up when you don't know that you even were down, right? Other people might pick up those cues and kind of are able to make you not make, but in a safe environment that you can open up and have that conversation, because in order for you to talk it out so you're not bottled in. That's one. Two is that for me, I think, of course, when in order for all the challenges, and I think all of us has that, is that no matter what storm come through, if we're able to see that we're so much of a small issue, like meaning problems, to the world problem, then you're gonna see what you seek is not your own problems, but you have to move beyond that. How can you be able to not only effectively as a mom, as a business leader, as an owner, or as a, you know, wife, whatever roles that we play in, how can you function and having that mental well-being of feeling that I have served everybody, right? That is where I think that challenges when we're dealing with a lot of challenges that gonna test us, and that testing us is coming back to who we are, faith. No matter
Yeah.
what religion, I think it's important to know that we're here for a short period of time, that life is impermanent.
Yep.
So in order for us to take action, it's only now. It's not waiting tomorrow to say I appreciate you, let's say CJ or Suzanne or Danielle.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow might not, I might not be here, or any of us, And I think
Yeah.
living in regret is something that a lot of us have that mental block of. I wish that circumstance is different. I wish that I have done something else, right? We all had that
You're
moment,
right.
but we have to move outside of it. Is living in the moment, which is where I felt not only in a science base, but in a lot of things I noticed is that, and it's true, when we read books and study, when they talk about personal development journey, is that whatever we seek, we will find. So our mind focus on whatever it is that it
I love
becomes.
that you talk about faith, sister, because that's really one thing that I wanted to focus what Susanna said is faith, right? Because it lessens her anxiety. Sister
Yeah.
Susanna, what is your take on tips on people who's going through mental stuff right now?
For going through mental stuff, don't do it alone. That's really what it comes down to. And it's going to start in different. It's there's going to be a comfort level. For me, I would have to start, if I didn't have you guys, then faith is where that all starts. That it's and even before I met you guys, when I'm dealing with it, that was really where everything started, to try and work through it, because at that point I was just accepting things as was, until I had somebody who could see me, they know me, yet see me from the outside. That's the importance of having somebody outside of those boxes who can see you and say, hey, this is what I see. Now let me see if I can help you see what I'm seeing. And if you do, then let's go to the next step. And that's really what happened with all of this. It's like we kind of joke about the ADHD, but then once
You have to have support.
you've got to have that support, you've got to have that outside viewpoint to help you see what you're stuck in, because you're in it, you're not out of it.
Yeah, and it's easy for people outside of your circle to like see what's happening. Also, support. If it makes you lose a lot of friends because they're giving you advice, but then you actually are unhappy, look at who's giving you the support and look at who's giving you the, oh, you should do this, because it might be a loss, not an opportunity for you. How about you, Sister Danielle? What's one tip that you would provide people when they're going through adversity? And I know you're going through a lot. What is the one tip, like you're like, okay, keeps me going today?
Yeah, prayer for me. When everything seems like it's crumbling, that has been a constant for me. I know you said one, but the other one is to lean on my circle. And that happened to me yesterday when I got some rough news, and I just let the tears fall. And so immediately first I pray, and then then I called Susanna.
I know you tried to call me. I'm sorry. I didn't pick up. I'm like, I'm sorry. I
That's
didn't pick
okay.
up.
No,
I
no,
had
no,
some
no,
own
no.
issues yesterday. I was like,
I gotta log out, but that would be my advice, is to pray, and then don't do it alone. So it's just what everybody had been saying already. But I love everyone. Sorry, I have to go. I'm gonna log out, but that's my husband. I love you too, Leo.
Aww. Happy
oh,
early
you guys are
birthday,
so lovely.
Danielle.
I
Bye,
love you.
guys.
Bye,
Love you guys.
sister.
Bye.
Love
Yeah.
you.
Love you. So for me, before we end, because TV network will cut us off, really. Before I end, one thing that I will give you guys is practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that it's okay to have bad days, and that self-care is not selfish. And to recognize that when things doesn't go your way, it's another way for the universe to tell you to F off on some things in your head, right? When things doesn't go your way, that means it's not meant for you. And that control freak inside of you, and that, the personality of, man, I let everybody down. No one's letting anybody down. And if they don't got you, then you don't belong there. If you get so much pressure from people around you to be perfect, you don't belong there. Right? Self compassion. If it doesn't work out the way you want it, it wasn't meant for you in the first place. And you're trying to fit in so hard, because that sense of belonging that my sister Susanna's talking about is so strong. It's human nature to want to belong. It's human nature to want to be heard and listen. But if that your group of people that you're pushing in doesn't really give you the time of the day or the right advice, because the right advice, how do you know there's a right advice? It's because when you're taking their advice and nothing is going right in your life, that's not a right advice, right? Like, I hope you do know that. That's like the basic, right? And so don't beat up yourself. Move on. It's okay, right? It's not meant for you anyway. Just go to the next opportunity. There's 8 billion people. I guarantee you won't even hit 100,000. It's okay. It's okay. And Noni, thank you so much for being here. What's up,
I
Chris?
love it.
Good morning.
Sis, now this is something that how things fall into places when it's meant to be. Because when Sis mentioned the self-compassionate, and then a lot of all of us in common is the prayers. So
Yep.
for me, when I don't want to bring, because a lot of people, that's another episode by itself, is that the
We
meditations,
do have
and
to end
people
this one
think
in
that
30
have,
seconds.
people think it's like sitting down, but it's literally just being mindful of all your thoughts and action, and just being grateful. And how can you have more wisdom and compassionate? So that is something that I pray, that mantra meditations, that prayers, is that how can I have more wisdom and compassion for not only ourselves but others? That will give you so much lift, that
Yeah.
self-compassion. So love that. So
Yeah,
love
I
it.
love self-compassion. That's one thing I practice right now. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm actually over already. Hopefully the TV will not cut me off. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. I know 13 or 1400 of you almost be here. YouTube, I will see you soon. I will be having content. Bye everybody. See ya.